Let's move on to the 4A state championship game where Bishop Luers will be taking on Cathedral in a rematch of the 2008 state championship game. And the funny thing about that game is it was a 10-7 ball game, and this year you take a look at two juggernaut offenses going head-to-head. We don't expect a low score in this 4A1, do you? No, not at all. I think this will be in the upper 20s, and the reason it won't be any higher than that is both of these teams are excellent defensively as well. The thing about, in the 2A game we talked about, I mentioned the aura of the parochial school and how that can be an advantage to Luers. Well, obviously that won't come into play in this game because both are parochial schools. The thing that Cathedral has really done is they've loaded up their schedule, and they've played one of, if not the most difficult schedule in the state of Indiana. They've played not only Carmel, they've played St. Xavier of Cincinnati, Brother Rice out of Detroit, Moeller out of Cincinnati. They've played 4 teams out of state, and East St. Louis as well. They've actually lost 4 games this year, but one of those games, the East St. Louis game, was reversed due to forfeit. So my point is Cathedral has really beefed up their schedule in preparation for this type of a game. Yes, Dwenger is unbelievably talented. Yes, they're fast and they're skilled and they're strong and their offensive line's great and all that, but they are not going to intimidate Cathedral in any way, shape, or form. There's nothing Dwenger is going to do that Cathedral has not seen already. Bishop Dwenger's defense, I think, is going to be the key in this one because you come in with Connor Barthel as the quarterback of Cathedral, #1 in the state in passing, over 3,000 yards this season, only 6 picks to 33 interceptions. So this is a guy similar to Patrick Ryan, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but they're a passing offense and they have the #2 receiver in the state. How do you corral that if you're Bishop Dwenger, and is that your biggest concern? Well, Hammond Morton thought they could throw the ball a little bit against Bishop Dwenger, and they threw 5 interceptions. Jalen West had 2, and Wilson Ganga had 1. They returned to the house. And so Bishop Dwenger has seen passing offenses before. They've seen East Noble. They've seen Columbia City. And so that's not going to be anything out of the ordinary for the defense of Bishop Dwenger, and they're perfectly capable of causing Cathedral problems with their passing game. But you're right, Barthel, 3,200 yards and 33 touchdowns. I mean, my goodness. And he dropped 601 yards of offense, Cathedral did, against Evansville Wrights Memorial, who was ranked #1 in the state and undefeated. And so the offense of Cathedral is their strength, and they are prolific, and that's why I don't envision a 10-7 game, because both these teams offensively are just too strong to score that few points. But I have faith barely in the Bishop Dwenger defense and their ability to control the Cathedral offense, as talented as it is. This is not going to be a blowout game one way or the other. These are 2 fantastic programs, 2 fantastic teams, and it's going to be one fantastic game. Yeah, who do you like in this one? Because it really is a toss-up if you look across the numbers and the records and everything like that. As successful as Bishop Dwenger has been, it's been a while since they've won a state title, and I know Chris Schwarzkopf would like to get that monkey off their back, as you might say. Well, it's a good monkey to have, knowing that you get to the state championship game or semi-state with regularity. That's a sign of a fantastic program. But really what I like about Dwenger is they are stronger on both sides of the ball than perhaps Cathedral is defensively. Now, I'm not saying a lot stronger, I'm saying barely stronger. And I think that the balance of Bishop Dwenger, because they can win a game with their defense, they can win a game with their offense, and even Steven Espinosa, who returned a kickoff return, 85 yards for a touchdown against Hammond Morton, shows that their special teams are great. And Greg Black of Dwenger is one of the best kickers in the area. And so they can really do it in all phases of the game, and I think that type of balance is what's going to key Bishop Dwenger to a very, very, very narrow win, probably something along the lines 27-21, 27-24. When you take a look at what Bishop Dwenger does year in and year out with the quarterback position, they have a new starting quarterback every year. There's really not any continuity when you go back to Goodman and then Trevor Yerrick and, fast forward all the way to Patrick Ryan. It's unlike James Kanapke with Luers. It's not who's going to be starting 3 years in a row. Dwenger doesn't have that same quarterback continuity, but I get the feeling that Patrick Ryan, that's not a concern because of how smooth he's been through the season, leading the offense and being effective and not throwing interceptions. The thing about Patrick Ryan you have to love is he is a mature,
kid, physically, mentally, and emotionally. A very intelligent kid as well. So there's nothing that Coach Schwarzkopf or the offensive staff can really throw to him that gets him rattled. And yes, it's his first year as the varsity starter, but he played a lot of JV. He played a lot of summer football in 7-on-7 with him. He has been prepping for this role for many, many years. And that's why you can see a Wade Markley slide right in there and do fine. You can see a Patrick Ryan slide right in there and do fine. And so, yes, he's a first-year quarterback, but he plays way beyond his years. Very mature kid that doesn't get rattled, and he's not going to be rattled on Saturday.
We talked about Barthel's statistics, but I'd have to think, I don't know Cathedral inside and out, but I'd have to think Ramon Wright is going to be the most talented football player on the field as far as the skill position goes. Tony Springman may be the only other guy that could be up there. Do you see this as a game where Ramon is sort of the game changer because he is the most talented guy on the field, where they say Jalen West has been fantastic all season, but they say, you know what, Ramon, go out and win this game for us?
Well, I don't know if Ramon could win the game for them. Can he break a play and be a crucial player? Absolutely. Ramon Wright can break any play on a moment's notice. He's phenomenal. That's why he's going to Stanford. He's not only phenomenal on the field, he's phenomenal off the field and in the classroom as well. But I think Cathedral is not going to be daunted by the speed of Bishop Dwenger. They have some pretty fast kids too. And there's nobody that Bishop Dwenger can throw at them that Brother Rice couldn't, or St. Xavier or East St. Louis or some of those programs haven't already thrown to Cathedral. So yes, Ramon Wright is perfectly capable of breaking a play, but I don't think we're going to go into this game saying that Ramon Wright can carry Bishop Dwenger to a state championship. And heck, Ramon Wright will be the first one to tell you Jalen West may be every bit as good as he is. And so I think that's really where Bishop Dwenger's strength is they can hurt you in so many different ways. As soon as you're worried about Ramon Wright, well, then Jalen West breaks a long run. As soon as you're worried about the running game, then Patrick Ryan throws a perfect pass downfield and they score that way. Or let's say, for argument's sake, their offense is stagnant. Their defense picks off an interception and runs it back 70 yards. So that's really what Bishop Dwenger can do, is they can kill you in so many different ways, and that's going to be the difficulty adjusting to that for Cathedral.
All right, kickoff of that 4A state championship game is set for 3:30 Saturday afternoon at Lucas Oil Stadium. And of course, check out the News Sentinel throughout the week as they lead up to the two state championship games for teams in our area. And don't forget to watch us every day. We'll be having updates throughout the week as we get ready for state championship Friday and Saturday down at Lucas Oil Stadium. For Tom Davis, I'm Glenn Marini, and thanks for logging on to Wayne.com.